Ever feel like you're just scratching the surface when talking about food in English? You know, going beyond just saying something is delicious or maybe not bad.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Well, today we're doing a deep dive into something we all deal with pretty much everyday food.
Right.
Whether it's just chatting about what we like, figuring out a menu, cooking, shopping, it's everywhere.
Absolutely. It's so fundamental.
So our mission today is really to equip you with the essential vocabulary, some useful phrases, and maybe a few cultural insights too. The goal is to help you communicate with a bit more nuance when it comes to food.
Exactly. Moving beyond the basics, we've looked at some great sources that give us a really solid framework for this.
Yeah, they really lay it out well. We want you to feel confident talking about food in, well, pretty much any situation.
It's about enriching those interactions, isn't it? Give you a real taste. Haha, sorry, couldn't resist.
Next one.
A real taste of the English language around food.
Okay, perfect. So let's start with the foundations, the building blocks. Basic food categories. Think of these as your starting point.
Good idea. Where should we begin?
Let's kick off with proteins. That's things like meat, beef, lamb, chicken, pork.
Mm-hmm.
And then from the sea, you've got fish like salmon, tuna, cod. Lots of options.
And don't forget eggs, tofu, beans, lentils, other great protein sources.
Right, exactly. So you might hear yourself or someone else say something like, I usually eat chicken or fish for dinner. Pretty common.
Or maybe, I don't eat red meat very often,
Yeah, people have different preferences. It makes you think, doesn't it? What proteins do you tend to eat most?
It's a good question to ask yourself. And then alongside proteins, we have carbohydrates, our main energy fuel, really.
Ah, yes, the carbs. Bread, pasta, rice, potatoes, cereal.
All the good stuff. It's funny how often our comfort foods are in this category.
So true, someone might say, oh, I love pasta, especially spaghetti bolognese.
Definitely. Or maybe someone trying to cut back a bit. I try not to eat too much white bread.
Right. What are your go-to carbs, when you need that pick-me-up?
Good question. Then, of course, we absolutely have to talk about fruits and vegetables. So important.
Oh, definitely. The colorful stuff. Apples, bananas, oranges, berries.
And veggies like carrots, broccoli, spinach, onions, tomatoes. The list goes on and on.
You hear people talking about goals like, I always try to eat 5 portions of fruit and veg a day.
Yeah, that 5-a-day target. Or just simple enjoyment. My favorite fruit is mango. It's just so sweet.
Mango. Makes you think about your own daily intake, doesn't it? And which ones you genuinely enjoy.
Totally. And after fruits and veg, we've got dairy and increasingly dairy alternatives.
Right. So your standard milk, cheese, yogurt, butter.
But also the plant-based milks that are everywhere now. Almond, oat, soy milk.
Yeah, lots of choices there. And we can't forget snacks and sweets.
Ah, the temptation aisle. Crisps, biscuits, cake, chocolate, sweets.
Dangerous territory for some of us.
Definitely. So here's a little prompt for you listening. My favorite snack is, I usually eat it when I'm slow. What pops into your head?
Ooh, I like that. Okay, so having those basic categories down is like step 1. But the real fun starts when we describe the food in more detail, right?
Exactly. Moving beyond just good or bad. Using words that really paint a picture.
Let's talk taste first. You've got the basics. Sweet, salty, sour, spicy, bitter, and savory.
The core tastes.
But then you can add layers, like describing something as mild or rich, creamy, tangy, even zesty.
Oh, yeah, zesty.
Yeah.
Good, yeah. So you could say, wow, this curry is really spicy. It's making my mouth burn.
Or appreciate something smoother. The sauce has a really rich, creamy flavor. It just tells you so much more.
Absolutely. And taste is only part of it. Texture is huge, too. How the food feels.
Right. Is it crunchy, crispy, maybe chewy, soft, tender, juicy? Or, is it dry or mushy?
Those words make such a difference. Think about saying, the chips are perfectly crispy on the outside and soft inside.
Versus just, the chips are good. Or, the chicken is so tender it just melts in your mouth.
Exactly. It really conveys that sensory experience.
And one more simple but important one. Temperature.
Often overlooked, but yeah. Hot, warm, cold, chilled, frozen.
A simple phrase like, I love eating warm soup on a cold day. It just works, doesn't it?
It really does. So here's a little practice for you. Think about your favorite dish. Try describing it using taste, texture, and temperature words. What comes to mind?
Good exercise. Okay, let's shift gears a bit, talking about cooking.
Ah, yes. Useful even if you don't cook much yourself, because you hear these terms all the time.
Definitely. Let's cover some basic cooking verbs first. Things like boil, fry, bake, Roast, grill, steam.
Stir fry, simmer,
Right, you might hear someone say, I usually bake chicken in the oven.
or we're going to grill some vegetables for dinner tonight. Common ways to talk about preparing food.
And then there are the actions you do in the kitchen, like chop, mix, stir, pour, slice, peel.
Season, marinate, all those preparation steps.
So you might explain a recipe like, first you chop the onions and garlic. Simple instructions.
Or emphasize something important. I always season the meat well with herbs and spices.
Yeah. Okay, another little challenge for you listening. Try to describe making a simple dish. Like, to make a simple pasta dish, I usually. Walk us through those basic steps in your head.
Nice. Okay, moving on to something slightly different. How we talk about our own eating habits and preferences.
This is important for, social situations and just explaining yourself.
Totally. You might need to say, I'm a vegetarian. Or maybe I don't eat pork.
Right, clear statements about what you do or don't eat. People also talk about their general approach like, I try to eat healthily most of the time.
Or the opposite, perhaps confessing, I usually skip breakfast, which lots of people do.
True, and lifestyle comes into it. I love cooking, but I just don't always have time.
Yeah, that's a common one. Or just taste preference. I prefer savory snacks over sweet ones. Or vice versa.
And there's a whole set of vocabulary around this, isn't there?
There is. We talk about aiming for a healthy, balanced diet,
And maybe sometimes having junk food or processed food.
contrasted with home-cooked meals.
Then you have terms like takeaway or fast food or ready meals for convenience.
And crucially, being able to talk about allergies or dietary needs, gluten-free, dairy-free, nut allergy, really important for safety and clarity.
Absolutely vital sometimes. You might hear someone say, during the week, I eat healthy meals, but on weekends, I, treat myself to fast food.
A pretty common pattern for many. So, have a think.
Yeah.
How do these phrases relate to your own eating habits?
Okay, let's switch scenes again. Imagine you're eating out at a restaurant.
Ah, the practical stuff. Knowing a few key phrases here makes things so much smoother.
For sure. As the customer, you'll probably start with, could I see the menu, please?
Standard polite opener. Then to order, I'll have the chicken curry, please. Simple and clear.
What if you need a change? Can I get this without onions? Very useful.
Definitely. And when it's time to go, could we have the bill, please? Or check, please, in some places.
And from the waiter's side, they might ask, are you ready to order?
Or would you like something to drink? Often one of the first questions.
And during the meal, they might check in, is everything all right with your meal?
Just checking everything's okay. Let's try a quick role play. Imagine I'm the waiter. Hi there, are you ready to order?
Okay, yes, I'll have the grilled salmon with rice, please.
Sure. And would you like anything to drink with that? See? Simple exchange.
Works perfectly. Now, beyond just ordering, food is so often tied up with culture, isn't it?
Oh, massively. Being able to talk about traditional or cultural foods is a fantastic way to connect with people and learn.
You might hear someone explain something like, in my country, we usually eat rice with every meal. Just a factual statement about habits.
Or describing something specific. A traditional dish from my region is called dish name, sharing a piece of their heritage.
Family traditions often revolve around food, too. We eat a big family meal every Friday evening.
That's lovely. Or talking about the local scene, street food is really popular where I live.
It really makes you think about food beyond just fuel, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It prompts you to consider, what do people typically eat for breakfast, lunch, dinner in your culture? Are there special dishes for holidays or festivals?
Those kinds of questions open up really interesting conversations.
Definitely. So to help you practice all this, let's suggest a few questions you can ponder or maybe even ask someone.
Good idea. Like, what's your favorite food and why? Simple, but always revealing.
Or, do you prefer cooking at home or eating out? What are the pros and cons for you?
What's a traditional dish from your country? Can you describe it?
Do you follow any special diet, like vegetarian, gluten-free? Why?
Have you ever tried food from another culture? What was it and what did you think?
Great questions. For example, someone might answer the first one like, my favorite food is lasagna. I just love the mix of cheese, pasta, and meat sauce. It's so rich and filling. I don't eat it often, but it's my go-to comfort food.
See? A nice descriptive answer. And if you want more structured speaking practice,
We've got some prompts for that too.
try this. Describe your perfect meal from start to finish. Appetizer, main, dessert, drinks, everything.
Or tell a story about a time you tried a new, maybe unusual food. Was it good? Bad?
No.
Weird?
Compare food from two different countries or regions you know. What are the similarities and differences?
Talk about a food you didn't like as a child but you enjoy now.
Yeah.
How did your taste change?
Or describe your last meal out, where you went, what you ordered, how it tasted, the atmosphere.
And a really useful tip. Try recording yourself talking about these things, then listen back.
Yeah, it can feel a bit strange at first, but it's so helpful for improving fluency and checking your pronunciation.
Totally agree. Okay, finally, let's sprinkle in some really natural common phrases and idioms related to food. Things you'll hear native speakers say a lot.
Ooh, the good stuff, like we just heard. It's my comfort food, meaning it makes you feel good, maybe nostalgic.
Right. When you've eaten enough or too much, I'm full, or even stronger, I'm stuffed.
To show real appreciation, this tastes amazing, or this is delicious.
If you have a sudden desire, I'm craving something sweet or savory or whatever it is.
If you really, really love something, I could eat this every day. Maybe a slight exaggeration, but it shows enthusiasm.
And ways to politely say you don't like something. I'm not a big fan of seafood.
Or the classic, very British idiom, it's not really my cup of tea. A gentle way to decline or express dislike.
Exactly. Very useful, that one.
So wow, we've covered a lot of ground today, haven't we?
We really have, from basic food names to descriptions, cooking verbs, habits, restaurant talk, cultural aspects.
And those natural phrases at the end. Hopefully this whole deep dive gives you a lot more confidence to, jump into those food conversations in English.
That's the aim. Because being able to share these everyday experiences, like enjoying a meal or trying something new, it just connects us, doesn't it?
It really does. Okay, so as a final thought to leave you with, think about all the words and phrases we discussed. Was there one, maybe a descriptive word or a particular idiom that really resonated with you?
Yeah. Consider that phrase or word. And then think, how could you maybe use it, perhaps even today, in a real conversation? Putting it into practice is where the real learning happens.